Hey guys, it's Cody with JANCguns. So today I am going to take apart my ATI American Tactical Imports 1911, show you guys how to do it, and I'm actually mainly going to show you how to clean. That's the whole purpose. So I'm going to show you how I clean it and where I put lubricant on it. So, always check to make sure your firearm's not loaded. Doesn't matter what it is, or whether or not you just checked it. So I took the magazine out already. I'm going to set that over there. Alright, so away we go. So take the pressure off of the spring. Push that in. Twist. Now make sure you hold on to this so it doesn't. Sorry, I've twisted this here, and now I know this is probably going to be a terrible video for showing you how to take it apart, but I have a video specifically for that. I try and make the videos as specific as possible so that you guys don't have to watch through 10 minutes of stuff to see the 2 minutes that you wanted to. Because if you're anything like me, you just want to see what you want to see. So you got the spring, and I'm terrible with remembering all the names, but of all the pieces. So then you're going to go ahead and use the the one hand. I don't know what you'd call this. So what you do is you grab it with the top here and you pull this way with these fingers until this little line. Oh shoot! Oh, there we go. This little dot. See that little indent on the slide? Push that back till the slide release is right below it, and you'll be able to see. And then you go ahead and you push this pin here in. So I know this is really quick. I've done the video before, so I'd reference you over to that one. So so there you go. And you just pull the top off. Whoops, that just fell off. Pull the top off and take your barrel out, and that's your field strip. So what am I doing wrong? Oh, ha ha. I sometimes, you deal with these things all the time. You sometimes forget what each one takes. Go ahead and take that out. You can slide your barrel. Oops. And there you go. So then you got all your separate pieces, and the spring's kind of getting away on us here. So now, first, what I'm a big fan of is disposable rags, because you'll see, especially if you start. So hold on, just adjusting a little bit. You'll see, like you see this towel here. It's just a little cheap shop towel I use. I take old T-shirts or jeans or whatever. They all work fine. I put that over me because some of the stuff you use when you clean guns can be kind of caustic. You burn through your fingernails. I mean, not burn it, but deteriorate the quality of your fingernails. And over time, if you do it a bunch, it'll just be mildly irritating. It doesn't cause any serious problems in my experience. So all I'm going to use today, really, probably some other things. I've got my Q-tips. I've got this is just break free. It's a Winchester brand. I mean, it doesn't seem to matter to me. They all work pretty well. Also, I have a rust remover because I've taken this gun out backpacking, and it had some moisture build up on it that I didn't wipe down every night. So there's that. Be careful with that rust remover. That's especially caustic. And because it's colder time of the year, usually I try and use an oil for a lubricant, because oils are a little more viscous. They slide more. They're not as prone to freezing and gumming up. Whereas there are arguments both ways. Whereas if I use a gun grease during the summer, the gun grease seems to not evaporate as fast. Seems to stay on there longer. But in the wintertime, I just feel like colder temperatures, it's going to have a greater chance to gum it up or slow it down. So that's my theory. I know it's not foolproof, but that's why I do it that way. So let's just jump into it. Also I have a big old bag of just little cleaning patches, and I'm kicking myself because you order them 1,000 at a time, and I didn't read the size measurements when I ordered them, so I was expecting a 3" by 3", and I got a 1 by 1. Or 1.5, or whatever these are. So now I got 1,000 of them. So we'll go through them. All right. First, it's pretty simple. This is going to be kind of a longer video, guys. So if you want to skip through it, I will go as fast as I can on it. So first, I'll just do a big wipe down and get all the bulk of this stuff. I spray a light amount on the rag. Now, rule of thumb anytime you're cleaning something is to not spray, look at that, oh yeah man, is to not spray what you're cleaning, because it will have a lot of off-put, it'll bounce off, whereas if you spray it directly into your cleaning device, or your, you know, in this case this rag, it's all going into the rag and you don't have a lot of spray off. The other benefit is that you know, you don't leave a bunch of excess in the gun or in the item being cleaned. That's really, really important that you don't do that. So for those of you familiar with the military, I'm going to try and clean this pretty close to what they call a white glove inspection. It has nothing to do with a colonoscopy. It's just gloves. So yeah, they just take a white glove, you know, and sit there and they put their pinky in all the areas on your M4 or whatever you have, and check it all out and make sure it's clean, and if it's not, they make you redo it. And for those of you that have cleaned that star chamber or spent much time in the service, you learn real quick how frustrating that can be. So yeah, initially I just do a big wipe, you know, to get it all the big stuff, and then I come back and then I touch it up, because, you know, if you don't do that, you're just smearing all over the place, all the majority of the carbon buildup. You know, if you're just in a hurry and you don't want to clean it perfect every time, just hit the big areas. You know, hit where metal rubs against metal, because that's going to be the thing that slows you down the most. If the metal hits a lot of places that stop it from moving, that's obviously going to be cause a higher chance for your gun to fail. Also, make sure any moisture that gets on the firearm is wiped off. It's very important. So there's the big wipe down for that. You know, we'll come back and go in depth in a minute. And I usually have like a backstop like this towel here, but you know, I probably should put it up here, you know, being on the desk. But it also, like I'm doing here, if you have slight amounts of rust, very, very slight, you probably cannot even, oh yeah, you can see it right there. I like to rub over it with whatever I'm using the first time before I use the more caustic and abrasive rust remover. I don't have any logic behind that. I just feel like, you know, it's easier on the metal if you don't use something that's as potent. So I'm sure it's fine. Oh, you know, this gun doesn't really have any wood on it, but if you get into using that rust remover, be really, really careful to not get it on the wood. Very careful of that, because it will eat away at that wood real fast. It'll leave discolorations. It'll eat through the sealant on the wood. I've actually had some first-hand experience of that. It'll discolor it and eat away at the sealant, especially if it sits on there, you know, because it's another important reason why you spray whatever you use, and whether it's a patch, a Q-tip, a toothbrush, you know, whatever it is, or just a brush, you gotta spray that, because then you're much less likely to, you know, all over the gun. Yep, so that's that. Anyways, for a gun like this, I don't know, I'd expect like 15 minutes of work or so. You know, apparently, you know, obviously if you shoot, another big thing that seems to depend on how long cleaning can take you is type of ammo you're shooting. I'm sure everybody's heard, you know, of corrosive ammo. If you haven't, you know, make sure you read about that before you buy yourself a case of 1,000 rounds. And just, it's not a bad deal. I'm not saying it's bad at all. Most of the bulk surplus I buy, you know, that I use for planking is all corrosive. But the word of caution is just because not everybody wants to take the time to thoroughly clean their gun, because that is absolutely necessary when you have that. Many people bathe them in, bathe the entire firearm in ammonia, or not ammonia, Windex, which has ammonia in it. But yeah, they do that, and I've heard great things about it. And I've thought about trying it. I just haven't haven't gone out and purchased, you know, a gallon of Windex yet. So I just do it the old-fashioned way. It's almost almost therapeutic, you know. All right. And this kind of a clean I'm doing, I would do if I were planning on shooting it again in the near future. I don't. I clean my guns every time I use them, but I don't necessarily very thoroughly go over them. I get all the big stuff, make sure I hit every nook and crevice at least once with some kind of you know, break free where it breaks up a lot of that stuff, you know, a lot of the carbon buildup, and then I just lightly lube it all and make sure I don't store my guns. Don't store your gun in any kind of a case or for a long time. Now, well, that's probably not the right way to say that. Don't store it in something where it won't be able to breathe. Once upon a time, I stored a shotgun in a what do they call those? You know, just in a, I guess it was just in a regular hard case, but it was just a cheap foam case, you know, more of a cover and to protect it when I'm transporting it in the back of a vehicle or truck or something, you know. And lo and behold, when I got to where I was going and pulled it out, it had actually rusted the barrel a little bit, and it was a Benelli, so it wasn't really a low quality, you know, type of metal being used. Not saying that they make the best stuff or anything like that, just saying, you know, it wasn't some off-brand shotgun that you don't hear of. So that's something to be aware of, and I've had that happen on, I had it happen a little bit on a revolver. So that's just my personal experience on it. I'm sure I should have known and prevented it, but you know, you don't always remember stuff or learn it until you experience it firsthand, or learn it the hard way. And again, I plan on shooting this again. I know I said I was going to thoroughly clean it, but now I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to do a once over, because I am going out here pretty soon to use this. So I'm going to clean it and make sure every moving part is cleaned and every last bit of liquid is off. I'll show you how that rust remover, how well that works a little bit. If you're curious, or if you have an issue, you know, similar to that, I will show it to you. And it looks like, you know, shoot, I don't have a knife or anything. It kind of looks like underneath this rubber hand grip, it's actually kind of rusted there a little bit. That's interesting. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, a little bit. Probably can't see real well. There's a little bit of brown on there. Could be carbon buildup, but I'd probably put my money that it's a little bit of rust. We were in very exposed conditions out in the mountains, and very cold, very this time of year, you know, and very damp in a lot of areas. In the area I live in. So there we go. Alright, now I'm going to pull back out my toothbrush, and we're going to see what we can do. Oh yeah, see in there? And this could just be the type of 1911 I have. Oh shoot, that's not going to work too well, is it? Let's see if we can adjust our light. Let's do, okay, so we got this white rag. Just push it in there and see what we get. Yeah, that was not effective at all. But maybe we'll have better luck with this Q-tip here. Q-tips are amazing. Yeah, let's see. That's almost complete light rust. I mean, very light. You know, it's only had enough time to sit in here for about a week. And I did wipe it off a little bit. You know, I have a hard time looking at something like that and just not taking care of it. It stresses me out. But it's all better now, so we'll get all that off. And again, you know, like, really you should take some kind of cloth with you. I like taking something like this, not in a can, not a compressed can, because you know if you're backpacking, you will probably pop it eventually. But if you take like, you know, a little container or maybe a plastic baggie, maybe not a plastic baggie because it will break up and eat that plastic or weaken it, and then you'll have it all over the place. But you know, take some form of cleaner, because what that cleaner will do is it evaporates very fast. So if you spray it on water or stuff like that, it will help remove that water, even though it's a liquid itself. I don't know. I know that it works. I've done it. So it's kind of the quick way of doing it. May not be the best way, but you know, sometimes when you're out there in the mountains, you get priorities change, and you get tired of cleaning something or going out in the cold 10 times. Oh shoot. Alright. Another important thing to clean on 1911s is the feed ramp here. You know, some of them you can go out and get a polished feed ramp. This is just the standard mil-spec ATI 1911, so you don't really have all the bells and whistles. So yep, just make sure you clean it. So, you know, it's not a thorough cleaning, but I'm going to, for the sake of time, I'm going to skip ahead and show you the rust remover. So, here we go. This is just, it says Outers rust remover. I've used a couple of different ones. It's not that I go through bottles of them, you know, normally they just break or whatever, and then I have to buy a new one. But, it's you know, yeah, you're probably supposed to be wearing gloves and all that, but, you know, I'm not too worried. So, you know, that's probably plenty. That's way plenty. So there's a little bit here and part of this seam. So we're going to fold this up. This stuff does not, you probably do want to absolutely do this in a somewhat ventilated area. You probably don't want to be doing this in a little 5x5 room or something. You know, and I don't get into all the protective stuff. The gloves and the mask and the, you know, I'll don't think I'm going to get cancer from it or die from it, but it probably doesn't help me. So let's see here. Just scrub it, scrub it, scrub it. Now I did wipe this down lightly just a second ago with some Q-tips and, you know, rag and the break-free cleaner. So that's what it'll do for you. And it's kind of hard to tell. Let's see if we can get it up here so the camera focuses. It's kind of hard to tell how much of that's brown or how much isn't, but there's a considerable amount. And so that's just what this stuff does for you. It really gets in there and does its job, removes the rust. Don't leave it on parkerization too long. It won't destroy it, but it definitely will not help the longevity. Some people will say, oh, it does nothing, but you never know, because each parkerization job can be different. Different companies use different chemical makeup compositions for their parkerizations. So it's just a risk I wouldn't take, especially if, you know, you've got a gun over $1,000, or just for any gun, really. But you know, it's just a risk I would not take personally. Use it like a carpet remover. You know, test it on a small area first. If nothing happens, a small inconspicuous area, like maybe under the, you know, under the handguards, and or handguards. What you know what they're called. Anyhow, you know, test it under there and see what happens. That's what I would do. So, yep, it's coming right off though. So, alright guys, well, I'm not going to do the put back together. I think you get the idea. Again, reference the video. Go check it out. It's pretty damn good if I do say so myself. No, I have no idea if it's good. But if you don't understand anything, please let me know so I can change it and make it good, because I really am trying to make these videos so that there's a good base point, because when I first got into firearms, you know, it's pretty hard to find a quality video, one that answered all the questions I had. I felt like a lot of the people that owned the guns or made the videos just kind of rented it and just kind of made a video and didn't actually handle the gun for a long period of time. All the guns I do videos on, or all the guns that we do videos on, you know, we handle them. So we know some of the fine details that don't really get figured out just shooting it once or twice, or you know, even for a week. Some of the things you learn over an extended period of time. So let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you use for cleaning supplies. I would like to have a different system, and yeah, and check us out. Check out some of our other videos. Subscribe, like us, leave me comments. We want to have stuff to talk about and videos to make, and you know, we kind of do that directed by you guys. So, all right, guys, take care.